Hey all my adventures, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hit that subscription button. If you've been with me from the beginning or you recently joined the family, and thank you so very much for your support. Now, if you've been following, you know that the past vlogs that I've posted has been about my Caribbean cruise that I went on in October of last year, 2024. And as such, the next destination on the cruise stop was Antigua. So this vlog, this episode is about Antigua. I recently spoke about St. Maarten as well as Puerto Rico, and I have other countries to come. But without further ado, not too much talking, I'm gonna get straight into it because I really truly enjoyed Antigua. We're in the streets of Antigua. It's giving downtown Mobay. It's my friend Desley.
Hi.
Yeah, bringing me around our hometown. And I'm not even gonna hold you guys. One of the main things that I wanted to do here in Antigua was to go and see the turtles. Listen, if you have been following me like from day one, you know how much I love these turtles. So I booked a scooter snorkeling tour. So that thing that he has in the hand is basically the scooter, which means that, you know, you don't have to be doing too much work, right? It's just kind of like a lazy way to snorkel, so long and short. So he gave us instruction on how to operate it. We got fitted with the snorkels and we were off.
Are you ready? Are you nervous?
I'm not nervous, I'm excited. You guys know I'm in love with these turtles, so we're here to see the turtles.
Alright, so here you can start getting on your fins. Don't forget guys, you're going to enter right here. If you have on your fins out of the water, you have to walk backwards to get into the water. If you try to go forward, it's going to tip you here. So it's easier to walk like that to get into the water.
Bye bye.
Yes, so after getting fitted with the snorkel gear, we did a quick run through of how to use the scooter, you know, ensure everybody knows how to use the snorkeling gear as well, because not everybody knows. And after being out there for like probably 10-15 minutes, we swam all the way out. We finally spotted one. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. I'm using the arrow, but you know, the water wasn't the clearest, but just give me some time, guys. There it is. Listen, this beautiful creature. And as I saw it, I just immediately got giddy. I got excited. I was just like, no, I have to go lower. Like, I have to go lower so I can get a footage. So I can, you know, be one with them. Like, I want to hold them. I want to touch them. I just don't understand why it is. I'm so obsessed with these turtles, right? Anyways, after realizing I don't have the lung capacity, I gave my GoPro to the guide, and I'm telling guys, look at this. Look at this majestic creature. Look at this. This is the hawksbill turtle, and I'm telling you, they're endangered in the Caribbean, you know, from what my understanding. But I'm just happy to see that they're thriving. And obviously this one, and in general, they seem to be used to human. Again, guys, for those who don't know, I'm from Jamaica, right? So we do have some turtles, but they're not as big, or, you know, they would have been spooked by now to a certain degree. And those turtles that we have are more so in Portland, which is on the eastern part of the island. But here in Antigua, these beautiful creatures, look at that. He came up, he took a little breath, and that's me right there. I'm right there following him, trying to swim, trying to be at his speed, which is impossible. And I'm telling you, like, it's a memory that is forever etched in my mind, and I'm so very happy. I have the footage as well, because I will have this for a lifetime, and I'm happy that I can share this with you guys as well. And listen, it's not even done. Like, he went back down again. Look at this. Oh my gosh, so beautiful, so majestic. He's just eating some lunch. He's just like, why these people don't leave me alone? I can't even eat in peace. Like, let me eat, man. Leave me alone. Look at him. Wow. Absolutely amazing. And I actually swam lower as well because I wanted a picture as close as possible to the turtle. And this is the best picture that I got, which honestly, it's already printed and I have it in my album. It's a treasured memory. I can't wait for you guys to see this vlog. Now, there was some other stuff that they showed us out there, but to be very honest, after I saw the turtles, listen, my day was made. I got my money's worth. I was good. But there was also a shipwreck that was out there. You know, I don't believe there's any major like historical significance with the shipwreck. I just think it was like probably 10-20 years ago something happened with a ship, and it, you know, it's at the bottom of the sea at this point. We saw a lot of different fish. you know, a lot of different fishes and so forth. And there was also the Pillars of Hercules, which is apparently another thing in Antigua that a lot of people come out to see. So that right there, the different rocks with the different columns, that's basically what the Pillars of Hercules are. There's nothing much to it more than a rock formation out in the sea. And I won't even lie to you, you know, I want to give a shout out to my instructor. This is one of them, right? And the other one as well. But the water, it was so rough. It was beating me so bad at one point. I even started to get nauseous, which is so strange for me because I don't usually get nauseous and I'm always in water. But you know, like I said, the water wasn't always clear right throughout and it was somewhat of a rough day. And in spite of that, I still got to see the turtles. So I'm just very happy that we got to see the turtles, right? So as I mentioned, these are the scooter gears that they take us out and we use. And you know, the Pillars of Hercules, that was something that we saw as well. But all in all, I enjoyed it thoroughly, honestly. It was a lot of fun. We saw the turtles. Yes, we saw the turtles. We saw Hercules, the Pillars of Hercules. We saw a lot of different fishes, and it was an awesome experience, guys. Check them out if you come into Antigua, right? They're on Instagram. You can reach out to them on Instagram as well. Yeah, big up Damien.
Did the turtles know you were Jamaican?
I think they might have known.
They can read.
I think I got a little picture with them, but let's see.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah. I think they knew. They knew we were from the islands. What's the name? What's the name?
Me?
Yeah.
Renek.
Renek. Big up Renek too. Okay, next up on the list is Devil Bridge. My friend that's bringing us around told us about this place, and I'm just like, nah, somewhere near named Devil Bridge. Yeah, I would definitely need to go and see what it's all about for sure. We have to go and check it out. So that's exactly what we did. Alright guys, so our second stop here in Antigua is at Devil's Bridge. So this is an area where they said the enslaved persons come and take their life as a way to escape slavery. So yeah, let's go. We're gonna check it out. Now, the idea of their Devil's Bridge, again, I'm not sure if you guys heard me because there are a lot of waves in the background and sea breeze, but the bridge was somewhere where the slaves would come to take their lives because they would rather die than be a part of slavery. And this, I guess, it's kind of similar to we have an area in Jamaica called Lover's Leap. So, you know, it's kind of giving me Lover's Leap energy. Know what to get on the Devil's Bridge, just go one at a time. And like I said, when you're on the bridge, don't walk together hand in hand because, you know, the water, the waves come in. Like in this picture, the wave came in. I was so surprised that the water came in. And this is my reaction afterwards. So it's like when the water is coming in, it can splash you. And if anything, you know, you can lose your balance and you fall over. And we don't want to be reenacting what the slaves were doing. So just be careful when you're down there, guys. Now we're on to the next area, guys. Look at the nice houses. Like driving along here reminded me of Westmoreland. You know, there's not much fencing around the properties like how we have it here in Jamaica and stuff like that. It just reminded me of the countryside in Westmoreland, Jamaica. But yeah, anywho, the next stop on the list is the Museum of Antigua and Barbuda. So if you know me, I'm very big on history, so that's a stop we definitely had to make. And my friend Desley, she's an archaeologist, so she was the perfect person to bring us around. So this right here, she's just showing us the different layers in terms of the earth. We're down all the way down at the bottom is like prehistoric times, and then, you know, slavery times, and then Amerindian times, and then, you know, at the top was garbage, which is current days and stuff like that. Told us about the birth of Antigua, which was basically birth from volcanic activity, which most of the Caribbean islands were birthed from volcanic activity like some 30 million years ago. We saw a lot of different artifacts, again, showing different timelines, you know, right throughout. They spoke about the indigenous people. This is what a replica of the canoe that they would have come over from. So it's believed for most of the Caribbean, the indigenous people who are called the Taínos, they came up from South America. One of the big things that they had in Antigua was the turtle. They ate a lot of turtle. This right here is this cacique stool, which is a stool that would sit on and perform different ceremonies, aka inhale all of the drugs so that I can talk to the Lord, speak to the gods and all that other stuff. You know, they had a lot of different artifacts just showing the different times in history and stuff like that. One of the things that I learned there was the different Taino names for the different Caribbean islands. So, you know, Jamaica was once called Jamaica, but Antigua, their Taino name is Wadaldi, and their beer is actually named Wadaldi. But I think they got it wrong. It was supposed to be Walaldi, and they thought it was Wadali, and, you know, But yeah, these are the different names for what the Caribbean islands were called prior to enslavement. Speaking of enslavement, where they were captured by the Spanish or the English, this is a replica of the slave ships. And if you look closely, you see the little cubes right there. That's where the slaves were transported. And just looking at this replica, I'm just like, I completely understand why they went over by the Devil's Bridge and jumped. And they had what looked like a paper mache replica of what this plantation would have looked like. So this is the Great House, right? Overseeing the plantation. That's the plantation right there. And then those are the slaves' house on the side. That would be the boiling room, right? And then this would be the windmill right here where they would crush the sugar cane. That's the slave transporting the sugar cane, right? And as I mentioned before, that's the sugar cane. So just like in Jamaica, most of the plantations in the Caribbean, sugar cane was one of the main things that was planted and exported, right? Another artifact that was there in the museum was some jade greenstones, which kind of cements the fact that, listen, the people definitely came up from South America, because this is not something that is native to Antigua, right? That's what my friend was telling me, which is pretty cool. They also found a lot of different types of clay pipes, tobacco smoking was a big thing back then. So a lot of different artifacts. The museum is definitely somewhere where I think you guys should put on your list if you do make it over to Antigua. The different ceramic bottles, they had these different clay pots, whether it was used for storing wine or water. They had this game that was there. She was explaining this to me. I saw this somewhere before. I don't understand how it is, but I think the aim of the game is to get 4 of the little stones in your thingy. They also had a lot of different sailing artifacts. Antigua is very big on sailing. That's what I come to realize when I was there. Very, very big on sailing. They even have a picture of some women who were the first set of women to sail from Spain all the way to Antigua. Antigua was the finishing line, guys. So just imagine sailing from Spain to Antigua. That's 3,000 miles, right? So, and another thing which I really liked was their respect for their cricketers. So that's a paper mache for Vivian Richards, who's a national hero for them. And there were also some other artifacts as well that was displayed right throughout the museum. Again, this is somewhere I definitely would recommend. I truly enjoyed it. And again, if you know me, you know I'm big on history. So yeah, that's definitely a stop to add to your list. All right, guys, moving right along. Before I go into the next thing, guys, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, turn on post notification. If you're going to be traveling to Jamaica and you're looking for a tour guide or a tour company, then check out my website, right? Now, before we go to the next spot, this right here was actually the cricket stadium. Again, that was built in honor for the most honorable Vivian Richards. I'm going to give him his name and put the most honorable in front of it because he's one of their national heroes. Now, initially when I heard he was a national hero, I thought he was dead. That's because all of our national heroes in Jamaica are dead, right? But he's very much alive, and they say that they can even see him out and about, probably at the supermarket or so. Again, I love how these other smaller Caribbean islands place so much respect on cricket. I wish that's something Jamaica could adopt again. But anyways, the next stop on the list is Shirley Heights, a very popular spot that we always hear about. When you look into Antigua, that's somewhere that's gonna pop up. Guys, look at this. Yo!
Tell us where we are.
We're at Shirley Heights, and I'm telling you, the videos don't do it justice. As always, guys, you have to come out and see these things for yourself. Beautiful. Probably if you're out there at the peak season, we probably couldn't have all of this for yourself. Down there where I'm pointing at, that's a beach where we just did the snorkeling. Now, if this was peak season, I probably wouldn't be able to see this. This is also a spot where they party in the night, but in the day they would have a restaurant that's open. But because it's not a lot of people coming in October, the restaurant was closed. So I never feel like I got the chance to experience the true Shirley Heights thing, but it was a nice view. You can even hike to the top. For all the persons who love to hike, you can hike instead of driving, right? Next up, guys, we're going to the dockyard. Big up Desley. Hey. One Desley, never two. Alright guys, so we've made it to the dockyard. We're at the dockyard. So we're gonna go inside and see what it has to offer. patty. Small compared to ours. This is beef. And I also got a coconut pie. You know, trying different stuff. So just light stuff to munch on. They got ting, they got pink ting, and they have it in the bottle. We don't have these in Jamaica. I don't know why.
Grapefruit, pink grapefruit.
Pink grapefruit. I guess that's why we don't have them in Jamaica. We don't have pink grapefruit.
But it's grapefruit make the green one as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they just do the pink one by dyeing it, I believe.
Oh. Alright guys, let's try the patty. Not bad. Not bad. It tastes nice. It's not bad. It not taste as good as ours, but it
Different style of pastry as well. It's not flaky.
Yeah, but definitely not flaky. So the coconut pie. Very coconutty. It tastes like coconut pudding. That's basically what it's a coconut pudding, but it doesn't taste like Toto, which I thought it would taste like Toto. A lot of people, Jamaican people, probably don't even know Toto. It's not something that you see that often, but this is good as well. Alright, now that we got a little snack in our stomach, it's time for us to do the actual tour. This right here is a replica of Antigua with all of the major sites. So, Pillars of Hercules on this one, Shirley Heights, so on and so forth. We're going to go into some of the history. So right here at the dockyard, they actually found some artifacts showing where some 8 men whose names they're trying to remember, where one of the slave master was asking for compensation because they had lost these men in some fire and so forth. But enough talking. I'm going to let Leslie tell the story.
The ages who they belong to, their qualifications, whether they were smiths, head carpenters, sailmakers, caulkers, and then also, you know, a little bit about how well they were. This man, Dick Ivy, he actually is recorded to have cut off his arm in an act of resentment. So even though they were skilled laborers, and they were given a place to live and so on by the Navy, they were still resisting working here. And
imagine I cut off your own arm, so you know, dedication at all? Brother.
And they lived in Middle Ground. Middle Ground is the middle ground between Falmouth and English Harbour. So it was manned by barracks and a fort. And they were given settlements, but also they manned the barracks. And this was the first black regiment in the Caribbean. So the 1st and 8th Regiment were here in Antigua, and this is the Black Militia. And we also have evidence of them having a all-black cemetery up at Middle Ground, which has 2 women interned as well. And what we're finding in the records with these names is that some of the names still exist in this community today, like Bailey, Thomas, Maarten, and these people are still working in these maritime skills of sail making, boat building, stonemasonry. So this is actually one of our stonemasons' hands right here. You know, Mr. Charles. They're still working, continuing this legacy, even though we're going into a more modern age of yachting and sailing. It's more sports sailing now than fighting against the French. But we're fighting them to get medals this time. But the whole Angel March project is surrounding legacy, so we've done a way to educate young people about it. They've created art pieces and also wrote poetry about it based on this stuff, because this stuff is not published in textbooks, so we're trying to get it out to the young people and of course people who are working here and living here today, because this is important, because we know Nelson, we know Collingwood, but we don't know people like Billy, London, James Hill, Carol, Command to, so it's now to know their names.
Yeah.
So this is, Nelson used to be in this room when we put him in. So this is the first of the upgrades that we're doing in the museum, and we hope that we can make it more engaging and more about the people who work and live here. So it's a mixed society in English Harbour of European and African descent people. So it's Butchery who's in charge. First thing Nelson did as a 23-year-old, 24-year-old, he came and took down the commissioner's flag and erected his own, and then started a relationship with the commissioner's wife. Then he went over to Nevis because he was basically shunned from Antigua. There was a warrant out for his arrest, so he couldn't step foot on Antigua soil. He only stayed on his ship for the 4 years. So he went over to Nevis to find a wife to hopefully inherit the plantation. She was a young widow. She had 1 son, and she was set to inherit the plantation. but her uncle actually screwed over Nelson and he never got the plantation. But he went on to be a great naval officer. There's number of ranks.
Alright guys, there's a lot to learn there. You guys can definitely go and check it out. I think it was like $15 or $20 to get into the dockyard as well. Outside you see these pillars or sail loft pillars, which is where they normally, back in the day, where they would repair the sails. Again, Antigua is very big on sailing, so this is where they would have the boats and come and help repair them. And you know, this is a nice view showing some of the different sailboats. I would have loved to be in here in Antigua when, you know, it's peak sailing season and you know. Anyways, we're moving right along into the next stop because we're wrapping up right now. Going to the lookout point. Gonna get a better view. A lot of sightseeing here in Antigua. Again, guys, come to the dockyard and ask for Desley. One day, never two. You said this is the old mansion?
Yes, this is the Dow's mansion. Archibald Dow owned the house first. He built it as his residence. Then when the Navy came to occupy the space, they bought it from him for £4,000.
Oh, wow, guys. Amazing. Antigua. I'm telling you guys, the different views, I'm telling you, simply amazing. But all in all, Antigua was a good day trip. You know, it was just 8 hours. I think I saw like a couple things I never got to try. There's this one donut place that, you know, they have that I never got to try. There's also, they say they have a black pineapple, which is very rare, but it wasn't in season at the time. This right here is the ending of the entire tour, like the dockyard tour, as well as going up to the lookout point. It's basically like a little slideshow going over the entire history of Antigua from birth to present. So, and I think this was very creative, especially if you have kids and you want to, you know, grab their attention. I think this was a nice way to do it, and it wasn't too long, because you know sometimes you're doing some of these tours, you want to know the history, but like, all right, let's get to it, right? Anywho, guys, like, share, comment, subscribe, turn on post notification. You're traveling area, I think you're gonna go to the dockyard, then be sure to check for Desley, right? You know, stay tuned for the other vlogs on the other Caribbean islands. St. Lucia is to come, Dominica is to come, Barbuda is to come, and I've already did St. Maarten, and it started in Puerto Rico, so you guys can definitely check those out, right? So this is us, we're heading back to the ship. You know, each island that I went to, I got a flag. The colors of the flag: the black represents the African people, the red represents the energy, yellow, blue, and white stands for the sun, sun, and sea. And you know, coming back on the ship, we got our coal rags and what more can a girl ask for, right? Anywho, if you've made it this far, thank you so very much, and I'll see you guys at the next vlog.